This is going to be the weekly intuitive astrology reading for October 14th. Oh my God, 14th, Jesus. October 14th to the 20th. I hope you guys are doing amazing, and we had no glitches today. It makes me very happy. But I hope you guys have been enjoying. Hold on, let me fix the chat here. There we go. Hope you guys have been enjoying October and fall season and the Halloween vibes, as I always do. What did I know I had a couple disclaimers before I wanted to start. I took a lot of time this morning for myself, and so I'm still kind of just really in that space. And so if I'm speaking slowly, that's why. There's also a lot to go over with this week, especially because we have the full moon in Aries. Venus is doing a lot, Mars is doing a lot, Vesta's doing a lot, everybody's doing a lot with this week, and there's just a lot of important things to go over. So I'm going to do my best to make it not so overwhelming information wise, but if you are just interested in readings, there should be a timestamp, especially if you're watching this later. And if you want just like an overview of astrology, that's also timestamped as well, if you don't want to get into the nitty gritty of things. Okay, actually, speaking of, let me get my little timestamps ready so people can get cozy as we climb up in the chat here. Okay, I did already do the full moon Aries hangout with my patrons, so that's over on Patreon. I haven't uploaded it to Vimeo yet. Vimeo. God, it's too many apps in the world now. Vimeo, but Vimeo has been glitchy, so I'll see if I can make it happen. I don't think I was able to upload the last two moon videos, but we'll see. Okay, hold on. Astrology Collective. Yes. Oh my God, there's so much. I'm looking at my like overview notes and I'm just like, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. And I think because there's also so many ways this could be manifesting for everybody, right? Just depending on like how much work that you've been doing on yourself, how much you've been enjoying your life, how much fun you've been having. Maybe you've been very finance focused, or maybe been very focused on your relationships, maybe just been enjoying your home. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And so I really wanted to cover the wide variety of how a lot of these energies are going to be playing out this week. Okay. I feel like there's something else I wanted to say. Oh, yes. Okay, here's a little astrology disclaimer before I get started, especially if I have any new people watching. I love astrology. It is a very fun discipline to learn and continue to learn and dissect and what have you. But I just want to put this out there for those who are like maybe attaching too much to certain interpretations of astrology. Astrology is just a good discipline and study for us to understand like the different windows of energy that we're all experiencing that we can harness to our benefit. It doesn't have to be like a nail in the coffin for bad things to happen or once in a lifetime things to happen. You know, I'm a full believer in the right timing for everyone in their own journey. You know what I mean? Based off of your own free will choices. And free will is a major component as well when you're also trying to navigate astrological interpretations, right? So just because I am saying something in terms of the astrology, if you know that that's not what you're focusing on in your life, or you've already like been through that, it probably doesn't apply to you, right? So just use discernment, because even when I talk about astrology, I give my own analytical point of view, but I also give my own intuitive point of view of different channelings that I might have received or things that I'm just feeling and sensing with the collective. Sometimes I get very specific channelings for different signs or what have you. So everything with your own discernment, okay? Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say about that. Because there is a lot of like Chiron healing components, okay, to this full moon and of course to this weekly. So obviously that's going to hit some people harder than others. And just because I mention it doesn't mean that's exactly what you will be experiencing, because maybe you've done that shit already. And maybe you feel kosher already in that realm of healing or recovery or whatever. So again, just use your discernment with everything that I'm mentioning to you, because I am trying to cover my bases for all the things I'm feeling for people who may be watching this, okay? Okay, all right, now let's get into the overview. That feels good. That feels good, especially because this, like, all the information I have for this weekly is kind of complex. I felt like that disclaimer was really needed, okay? So let's get into it. So, as I said, this week we have the full moon in Aries happening on October 17th. On that same day, Venus will be moving into Sagittarius. Now, as I mentioned before, Venus is doing a lot and Mars is doing a lot. Venus is actually working with the generational planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and will be exact with them at different days this week. Today, actually, Venus is exactly opposing Uranus. Tomorrow, Venus will be trine Neptune, and then on the full moon, Venus will be exactly sextile Pluto, and that's got major implications. That aspect of Venus sextile Pluto is actually strongest throughout the entire week. But before we get into those nitty gritties, let's get into some just general overview for those who don't want to know all the detailed astrology. Some themes here, okay? Secrets and truths revealed, big theme with this week. And also everything that I'm mentioning too also coincides with the full moon. Just to let you know, because the full moon's really relatively in the middle of the week and these aspects don't disappear just because it's not the full moon, right? We're gearing up for the full moon, and so it's going to be tied into the full moon, just so you know. Receiving and experiencing peace, like harvesting abundance and reception, like how, like our ability to receive or what gets in the way of that is a huge theme, but really in terms of peace as well. And again, we're going to get more detailed into that. I wrote it down perfectly. Yeah, what's stopping you from receiving or experiencing peace, right, in your life? That also can be beauty. That's coming through as a quick little channeling here. I'm going to try to slow it down because there's a lot of information today. But yeah, what is stopping us from receiving or experiencing beauty or peace? Some of you, again, have already worked through this. Oh, okay, slow down. Some of you already worked through this, all right? And some of you have not. Bonds. You've heard me talk about bonds before, right? Bonds and connections are a huge thing too, because we have a lot of Libra energy. When I say bonds, I'm speaking to things that we have intentionally or unintentionally like tied ourselves to. Okay, that can be relationships, that can be jobs, that can be places, that can be beliefs, that can be commitments of some kind, right? And even contracts are part of this, like tangible contracts and non-tangible contracts. So that's what I mean by bonds. And really tying back to like what's stopping us from receiving or experiencing peace, there is going to be a reevaluation of bonds at this time. Like what is like literally holding you back from that? And on the flip side of that, what about yourself are like you getting in the way of? Oh my God, I can't speak today. How are you getting in the way of yourself with receiving these things and experiencing these things? That's another flip side of it. And there's also this like wild, free, primal sense of self that's also at play this week. A lot of sexual energy, a lot of sexual, passionate energy around Venus and Mars. But again, we'll get into it. We're still in the overview here, but I want to speak to Vesta because Vesta in Virgo is creating a lot of aspects. Vesta is very, very active this week. And so with Vesta, Vesta's kind of like our sacred flame, right? Vesta, I look at her as a bit of a blueprint kind of energy. She represents our callings, what we have passion for, what gives us a sense of purpose. With her being in Virgo, along with some of the other aspects that I already analyzed and went over, some other major themes that could be coming up in terms of what you feel called to right now could be environmentalism, money management, food and resource management, political activism, plant medicine, herbal medicine, natural medicine, right? Or even healing modalities could be on board for that. And if any of those are not like in your reality or part of your being, this could also just help you with having an easier time planning or navigating around what your callings are for you personally. And callings don't have to be like a big grandiose thing, right? It's like they can be something very minor, and it's all about what brings us a sense of passion and purpose. Okay. Sex. Sex, love, passion, romance. That's major. Okay. That is major. Even if it's not happening in your physical reality, you could be thinking about it a lot. It's just energy that's on board. When we talk about sexual energy, we're also talking about creative energy. Okay. What is sex? LOL. We're also talking about creative energy because like they're one and the same, right? So just so you know, it doesn't have to be purely about sex for you. It can be about your passion to create, your passion to live, what you have strong desire for yourself. Even your own heart's desire is part of that too. But with Venus being in Scorpio, moving into Sag still, but like Venus being in Scorpio and working with Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, and then Mars is in the mix here as well. It's spicy. Okay, I'm just gonna say it's spicy. There could be some unexpected or fated meetings as well that happen this week due to Uranus and the North Node actually being at play with some of these energies. There's also a finger of fate that's happening. We'll talk about that. But some of the fated meetings or unexpected encounters may bring about very life-changing relationships or karmic relationships. Don't let the K word scare you. That's just a natural thing, right? Like karmic relationships are how we learn and how we grow. They don't have to be bad. They don't have to be this like torturous experience. They could be very, very beautiful experiences, whether they're short-lived or they're long-term, okay? When it comes to the intensified passion, there's also going to be some tenderness and some compassion as well, because there's a softness coming through with Neptune, along with all of the sexual fieriness. So just know that there's a softness that's also coinciding with some of this passionate sexual energy. However, within all of this stuff as well, secrecy. The desire for more secrecy or privacy is also going to be highlighted. Be careful with that. I did some sign readings yesterday that we'll post throughout on YouTube throughout the week. They're already on Patreon. But just be careful with that, because we do have a full moon and we also have this like unexpected events energy going on because of Uranus. And we also have a strong energy of truths coming out and being revealed. So you may feel like you want to hold things closer to your chest right now, and maybe not even for nefarious reasons. Some people will be for nefarious reasons, but just be mindful as to like why you're wanting that, like what the intention is there, right? For some, it may be like very well placed. That maybe you're sensing like, you know what, I don't need to let people know about this shit right now. I feel like I need to keep this under wraps because maybe it's like a business plan or something. I get it. But if you're like hiding a relationship, maybe don't do that. Just like, I don't know, just maybe like consider the pros and cons of that and like why you're doing it and like, is that worth it? Or if you are actually like harboring a secret, is it something that needs to be kept under wraps, or is it actually beneficial for everyone that like that secret is out? Okay, so I'm just putting that out there. Okay, there can also be some jealousy and possessiveness and obsession, right? That's also kind of rolling about here because of Venus and Scorpio and also Pluto. But also know that that may be coming up in relation to everything happening with the full moon, and we will get to that. We'll get to that. Now, when it comes to, since we're talking about like sex and romance, let's talk about like couples and singles, right? So if you're single at this time, this is a great time to date and to meet people, but just know that it's probably more for very intense short-term experiences. However, if you are an atypical dater, I guess, or if you are an advocate for unorthodox relationships, you could actually have a very long-term relationship that starts at this time, okay? Any relationship that facilitates your sense of identity and your sense of like freedom and independence will probably be very well aspected. Now, if you're in a couple, if you have a healthy relationship, things can get spicy. You can also deepen your intimacy with each other, and that's a really beautiful thing. If you're in an unhealthy relationship, expect some drama, okay? Expect some pushback, expect, oh my God, I can't talk today. Expect secrecy and bullshit happening, maybe even some breakups or affairs. It's just unhealthy relationships that tends to happen anyway, but it will be intensified at this time. There was something else I wanted to mention about this. It was like coming through, but I was trying to stay focused on everything I wanted to say. Is it going to come back? Maybe it'll come up later. Now let's talk more about these bonds, right? So Venus opposing Aries, like I said before, is highlighting bonds, contracts, vows, obligations, ethics, all of that stuff being called into question at this time, right? Stuff that you are currently married to or bonded to, and things that maybe you could potentially become bonded to or married to. All of this is under evaluation, but it's like really in your face, or really in our faces, I guess I should say. There's a major confrontation of these things, and also what is controlling us, or what are we trying to control? There's like, this is like a sub theme going on here, okay? It will bring up a lot of deep seated fears, insecurities, psychological issues, Pluto's also having a hand in that too, along with Chiron. As that stuff comes up, it's just confronting the reality of what you are enslaved to and how that's negatively impacting you. Okay? These could be relationships, situations, addictions, belief systems. It could come in all sorts of forms. All right? It's just to face that and it's just to confront that. There may be a lot of pushback as well that comes up either from you or you may experience that from other people. Mars is playing a hand in that in Cancer. And like the shadowy Mars Cancer energies are going to be like, it's going to be very easy for those to come out because Mars in Cancer is very emotionally motivated, right? We're more motivated by securing our own sense of emotional stability. We're more motivated by protecting our loved ones, but it is in a shadowy way also very codependent and speaks to attachments and like possessiveness, kind of like Pluto and Venus are also going to be highlighting as well. So just know as you are confronted, like very much confronted with things that you are controlled by or things that you're trying to control, a lot of the reasons as to why that's even happening will come up. And if you've dealt with it, you've dealt with it. And there's probably going to be a really awesome, fun, and exciting week because there is fun and excitement on board because of Uranus and Mars and Venus and all of that good stuff. All right. So as stuff comes up, if you're triggered, Mars and Cancer could take those triggers over the edge. If you're not aware of yourself, if you're not seeing what's really happening and taking place. Okay. Now, on the flip side of that, if you are like just seeing the truth and you're realizing all this and you're like, you know what, I can embrace these changes and I can go and have a lot more fun and play and frolic and just like be in a passionate place in life and really protect my peace. Protecting peace is a theme here too. Some other people may push back on you. Okay, because Mars and Cancer just also facilitates that. All right. Okay. Anything else I want to mention in this overview? Oh, yes. So money, just really quick about money. This is a great week for money, okay? Especially if you're not being like super overly risky and impulsive with it. This is a really great time to see windfalls or unexpected like investments paying off at this time, or just people showing up for you to even help you out financially. Showing up for others and having that like healthy, like reciprocal kind of exchange is something that we can experience and receive this week. But again, we got to get out of our own way. So if you have any like experiences come up where it's time to receive that from other people and you feel some kind of weirdness about it, it's just showing you what's getting in the way of you just enjoying that sort of experience, right? So just know that. But also with the full moon being in Aries, there is a reflection of the last 6 months as well. And 6 months ago was kind of a pivotal time, right? Going back to April. For some of you, this is going back up to the spring equinox. And that was when we had all this like really like passionate Aries, excited, really confident, like really, really confident energy where people were like daring to dream, right? You know what? I'm going to go and do this because I've always wanted to do it. I'm not going to let that get in my way because why would I, right? Whether that was like just little life goals you had, trips you wanted to plan, things you just wanted to experience, and anything in that realm, things you wanted to build for yourself. A lot of us may have experienced some pushback on those things in the last 6 months or somehow got delayed or derailed or compromised or what have you. 6 months later, coming to present moment, there's a reevaluation of all of that. Okay, in terms of really seeing what about those things are actually viable and what no longer is, right? That's also coinciding with the full moon Aries, okay? Okay, that's a lot, right? That's a lot. That was just the overview, which I feel like I actually went over a good amount of astrology in the overview, but I also want to give you guys signs and ranges and things like that to look at your own charts here. Okay. Definitely feeling that again. Yeah. And like, I also want to say for some people, it may just be this like quick revaluation of like, maybe it wasn't super pushed far off, but there's definitely this like, oh, let me bring this like back up to more of like my awareness or just like, let me make this a priority again. Some people feeling so much in the collective right now. For some people, it could actually be like a complete rewrite. For those people, if you're feeling like you need a complete rewrite right now, more likely than not, you've had major timeline shifts, okay? And I'm actually hearing the word breakdown. Um, that's a very interesting group that I'm tuning into. Because I feel like most people are feeling like the great energies here. I feel like most people are feeling really good at this time. And again, even if like you get confronted with these deep seated things of insecurities and fears and all that stuff, I still feel like most people are going to have a great time this week and even in the next 2 weeks, I would say, because of the full moon Aries. But I can feel this other group that like maybe feels like they're breaking. Hold on. Mm. Um, excuse me. Um, that maybe feels like they're breaking. And dare I even say, like, yes, that's true. This is clearly just something that needs to be spoken on right now. Hold on a sec. I should have done a timestamp for this little message. I'll just make it 20 minutes. Whatever. For this channeling here. This group that's having the breakdown. I do want to say, yeah, things are breaking. I do want to say, yes, things are breaking. Ooh. Oh, maybe some people need to admit this to themselves. I'm getting a little bit of a denial. I'm getting a little bit of a denial going on here. My throat is like not happy talking about this. The potency of a breakdown can also reflect the potency of the creation that's born of the breakdown. Something to take some solace in. I know it's not a great feeling to be there, and maybe you have like, because I'm trying to think of like astrologically what could influence that, right? It's like we have the Aries, Libra intensity, Pluto's doing a lot, Venus and Scorpio's doing a lot, Mars and Cancer's doing a lot. You could have specific like placements that coincide with those signs, but I almost want to say like, because like we're in diving into these energies and that's like breaking you down, maybe you actually don't have these in your chart. Like some of you who coincide with this group, because of the full moon Aries, like maybe you actually don't have a lot of Aries, right? Maybe you don't have a lot of Aries in your chart. Maybe you have like a Chiron, a moon, or a north node that are like late degrees Capricorn. Because like I'm just feeling like Pluto. I feel like Pluto is really active like with this group. Like Pluto's breaking something down in your chart that's like really pivotal to you or your sense of identity or who you are or your path, which to me says like Chiron, North Node, Moon, even your ascendant. These are just things I'm feeling slash like, trying to put together for this group here. But this group that's having this breakdown, just trust the process. I know it doesn't feel good, but trust the process. Just trust the process. Even if ever, yeah, you know what? I'm almost like wondering if this is like a dark night for this group. I just got dizzy as I said that. Because it does have that flavor of all foundations or everything I've known is like no longer or is like slowly being stripped away. Like I'm even wanting to do this. And maybe you're going to feel very different about your life and yourself through this process or through the other side of it. But just remember the potency of the breakdown will match the potency of the creation as well. Okay? Okay, that needed to come out. Let's do signs and degrees. And this is to just compare against your chart for those who like to do that. Okay? Okay. So there, like I said, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. So to keep this as simple as possible, I'm going to give you a very detailed, like how to look at your chart here with these specific signs. The signs I'm giving you, I just feel are the most important ones to look at. They are not all the ones to look at for those who like to go really crazy with it. Okay. But Aries and Libra by far are the most important because of the full moon, but they're also just doing a lot of stuff. Okay. And that is really highlighting a polarity between Aries and Libra. And when we look at Aries and Libra, it's literally the self versus others, right? And there are all kinds of other ways that comes through, like making peace or making war, assertion, not quite submission, but like mediation, right? Like trying to find the balance and harmony in things. But around this polarity, 20 to 25 degrees, Aries, Libra. So look in your houses for that. If you have any personal planets that are Aries, Libra, 20 to 25 degrees, you're just going to feel this a lot, okay? But this is where you're going to see the highlighting and the confronting of bonds, okay? Confronting what you have been bonded to, enslaved to, and what you could even be devoting yourself to out of this reevaluation, okay? Along with that, there's going to be fears and insecurities and wounds that come up in those houses, most likely. And this is going to highlight what is stopping you from receiving or experiencing peace for those where that applies. Maybe you've found your peace. Maybe you feel very peaceful, right? So if anything, this is just going to highlight even more so like how to deepen that experience of peace and receiving your harvest and receiving your abundance, and also enjoying people and connections while having really healthy boundaries if you've already feel like you've done this, okay? Virgo. Virgo is important because Vesta's in Virgo, and like I said, Vesta's doing a lot of stuff, all right? Now, what's interesting is Orcus is also in Virgo. Wait, why did I write 0 to 10? Wait a minute, let me double check my work. Like, why did I write 0 to 10 for that? Yeah, that don't mean, I don't know why I wrote 0 to 10. So Vesta and Virgo is 20 to 25 degrees. It should really be 10 to 15, not 0 to 10. So again, I just double checked my work, and that don't make no sense. So the house of Virgo, 10 to 15 degrees and 20 to 25 degrees. You can even look at the entire house, especially for those who look at the whole house systems, okay? That's where Vesta and Orcus are. That is highlighting, again, callings in all the ways I've already defined it in the overview. If you didn't watch the overview, go back, and if you are curious of what I mean by that. But also plans around your calling, whatever that may be, but also reveals. Orcus is revealing some things. Orcus is a very interesting dwarf planet. I kind of did a whole little TED talk on Patreon on the Full Moon Aries live, because like when I was doing my notes for it, I just got carried away. I just was doing a bunch of research and doing my own little astrology analytics. But anyway, neither here nor there. So look to that house for some help and support in terms of pursuing your calling or deepening your calling, progressing with your calling. Cancer, Scorpio. This is Mars and Venus. 20 to 25 degrees, Cancer, Scorpio. This is where you're going to have the passion, the heat, the sexual energy, but also the tenderness and the love and the romance and jealousy and obsession and secrets and attachments and all those things. All of that going on in the house of Cancer and the house of Scorpio, mostly in that 20 to 25 degree range, okay? I don't know why looking at that just makes me nervous, but it's like giving me like almost like it's giving me heart palpitations or something. Like almost like a little bit of a panic. Anyway, let's move on to some of the deeper astrology. Get a little sip of coffee. It does. I'm just like, oh shit. Like, I mean, think about that, right? It's like you got Scorpio, you got Cancer. And then you have Mars and Venus, and then we're going to get into all of it, but they're also both working with Uranus and Neptune at Pluto. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay? That's a lot. Anything could happen with the relationships of this week. Anything. Okay? So I'm going to make that clear. Okay, let's get into astrology now. All right, starting with this first section, this next section I'm about to talk about, this next section I'm about to talk about coincides very closely with what we're going to mostly experience with the full moon in Aries, but again, that dominates this week and even technically a little bit of next week. This is where we have the polarity of Aries and Libra, right? So we have the Sun and Juno hanging out together in a nice little conjunction, opposing Chiron and Eris that are hanging out in their own little conjunction. During the full moon, the moon will join Chiron and Eris, but also know that on the full moon, Spica and Arcturus will join the Sun and Juno. I talked about this on the Patreon live, okay? So we have that. That's a lot, right? So we have like major conjunctions in this opposition between Aries and Libra, and that's like bringing up all the bond stuff that I was talking about, right? So this next part might sound a little repetitive, but bonds, contracts, vows, obligations, relationships may be called into question at this time against your sense of self and identity, your ability to assert, and your own fears, wounds, and insecurities. Review confrontation of current bonds, right, that are holding us back. And also, Chiron, also even working off of Arcturus, which I'll explain in a second, will be highlighting again fears and insecurities, especially around like how we receive or how we allow or permit certain things to take place, even how we may even allow ourselves to assert ourselves when need be, right? The Arcturus component I really like here because Arcturus, for those who are not familiar, especially for my star people, right? Arcturians, right, are star beings that I think are pretty well known in the spiritual community. They're known for being guardians of sorts. There's a big like theme of protection and guardianship as well that some of us may experience, some of us may not. All right, but the guardian component of Arcturus slash Arcturians really helps with very deep healing. Some even say cellular, like DNA sort of healing. That feels, I'm just hearing rewrite. I'm hearing and feeling rewrite. That's interesting. I think that word just needed to be said for some of you to hear. Spica plays a role in this. I'm not going to get too into it because it's like that's more about the full moon, like less about the weekly. But Spica and Arcturus are very close to each other. Like they're right on top of each other. And Arcturus is kind of known to be the protector of Spica. So there may be things coming through that star for you. More details on Patreon, like I said, that are at play with this full moon in particular. But either way, it's really facilitating that healing to take place as we are confronted with our bonds and really what matters to us, right? And really how we can break free from certain things and decide to invest and even bond ourselves to certain things, right? Coinciding with receiving and experiencing our peace and protecting our peace. Something interesting is coming through with protecting the peace. Be aware of yourself with that. I'm feeling a justification, almost like it could be easy to say, I'm doing this to protect my peace. Some of us may be doing that when really it's like we're still attaching and holding on and just like holding ourselves back from true peace. Right? It's almost like I'm not letting go of my comfort. Like I'm not letting go of what I've known in my patterns. And so this is again just showing us where we have been unhealthy in our bonds and in our patterns. So if like that's being shown to you and your defensive reaction is no, I need it, right? Maybe some evaluation could be beneficial there. Okay. Now let's talk about Mars here. So Mars is doing a lot, like I mentioned. Mars is in Cancer. Mars being in Cancer is also square all of the Libra and all of the Aries. So what does that mean? It means as we're being confronted with all this shit, right? To receive this shit, to face this shit. For some, it's just receiving. Like things are gonna be coming in. It's your time to just enjoy and receive. If you get in your own way, you get in your own way. But the Mars Cancer component, the square, is really bringing out the shadow of Mars Cancer, like I mentioned before, which is jealousy and possessiveness and controlling and impulsive behavior, really highlighting attachment. Really highlighting control. This is also coinciding with the theme I mentioned before of like, what are you trying to control, but what's really controlling you, right? In our attempts to control, and most of the time I would even argue most of the time that it's an indication of that something is actually controlling us, that we're not in control of something, right? And then of course there's that whole thought form of we don't have control over anything, which like yes and no. Yes and no. We have control over ourselves. We absolutely have control over ourselves, right? So just have some awareness and boundaries when it comes to like this Mars energy, because some people may be in a place where they feel really good and they're just like ready to go and have some fun, just ready to be their like wild, playful, peaceful selves. And other people may get triggered in response to that. So you could be on the receiving end of that, or you could be on the giving end of that. There also is like some major feminine mother stuff coming up here too, okay? Because of Cancer, because of Libra, because of some fixed star activity. All the fixed star activity around the full moon Aries is all associated with the left side of the body, which I thought was also interesting. Again, we went over it in Patreon. So again, the left side, the feminine side, our ability to receive. So just also know that some of this may be forcing people to confront their own mother wounding or wounding around femininity. They're wounding around pleasure, desire, even sex, even just creativity. Something about the when I mentioned sex in relation to that, like wounding around sex, wounding around oh God, there was a word I said right before that. Oh, come back. Please come back. What was the word I said before sex? We'll see if it comes back. But yeah, all of that could be coming up at this time as well. All right. Now, let's get to the end of the week because if you get into fight mode, there was a lot of 501. Oh, pleasure. Thank you. Pleasure. Okay, let's talk about that and I'll come back. Pleasure. It was pleasure. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you. We have a right to pleasure. We have a right to pleasure. It's not bad. It's not taboo, even if people want to make it a taboo thing. We have the right to pleasure. We have the right to experience the pleasures of this human experience. And that could be dancing. That could be good food. That could even be drink, right? Like, we have a right to pleasure, and there could be some personal holdups that are highlighted at this time of how you don't allow yourself to enjoy life or yourself or things that maybe you think people might judge you for. That's also part of what's coming up here. That one, boy, I can feel so much energy behind that. Some of you guys needed to hear that. Okay, now let's move on. If you get into like that fighting energy of like possessive, jealous, or even triggered, a good way to just kind of stop and reevaluate some things is just to ask yourself, like, what are you fighting for? Right? What are you fighting for? Is it even real? And if it is real, is it worth it? Or is there like a better way of going about things where you don't have to like fight, right? Just that wanted to be mentioned here. Now, towards the end of the week, here's where Mars gets even more interesting, okay? Mars being in Cancer by the end of the week is going to be sextile Uranus, trine Neptune, and the Sun will be square Pluto, and the Sun will move into a finger of fate with Uranus and Neptune. For those who don't know what that is, don't worry, we'll go over it. But Mars getting in this positive position with Uranus and Neptune definitely is going to amp up the unexpected changes and events, but also excitement, okay? Also excitement and fun and sensuality and sexual energy. There's also going to be an easier time like tackling difficult like plans or tasks, if you will. Like if you've had a hard time just like taking care of some shit, this can actually be a really great time to finally go ahead and take care of some shit. And there's also some other aspects that support that as well. But also know too, like while this is going to intensify sexual energy, right? It also may highlight to you, like an easier out of unhealthy relationships, specifically any relationships or situations that restrict your sense of freedom. Anything that makes you feel like you're being controlled or pushed or dominated, all of us are going to say no. All of us are going to be like, oh, hell no. Like, not just because of Mars square Uranus, but other aspects as well. If we feel like we're being put in a corner this week, a lot of us are not going to be having it and may have something to say about it, may have some spicy reactions to that. But I like this for this week. Unhealthy patterns, relationships, situations, way easier time to exit out of those things and confront those things, which is perfect for everything that we've already been talking about, right? Now, the Sun with this finger of fate. The Sun square Pluto is definitely going to bring up some of that deep shit, okay? Because one, it's Pluto, but it's also the Sun, illumination of self and ego, right? And it's also going to be in a square, okay? So again, just know if some deep shit comes up, it's coming up. You can navigate it, or maybe you just need to observe it and let it go about its way. Maybe you've already worked on some shit, and if you see it again, you're like, oh, I worked on that shit, like it's okay. But if stuff gets revealed to you that you have not even been aware of, maybe worth transmuting that or dealing with it. Okay. The finger of fate is interesting here. I wanted to sit with this for a while because, so for those who don't know, the finger of fate is when you have a sextile, and then those two planets that are creating a sextile are creating a quincux with another planet, a third celestial body, like two quincuxes essentially. Don't get caught up on the jargon. Don't worry about the jargon here. All that means is that like Neptune and Uranus in the sextile are doing great things. They're unlocking opportunities left and right for change, for liberation, for creativity, for just feeling good, right? All of that stuff. But they're not communicating so well with the sun. That's essentially what that means astrologically, right? So they're running into like a roadblock that the sun is creating. The reason it's called a finger of fate is a lot of astrologers see that like that particular aspect as being very susceptible to just like unforeseen things. Mostly in relation to the apex planet, which here would be the sun. Okay. And the sun again is in Libra and is part of this full moon energy. It's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot. It's doing a lot. So highlighting the bonds again, right? So in terms of bonds and relationships and things we have been enslaved to or tied to, belief systems otherwise, right? As we are being confronted with those things and we're reevaluating those things, there's also this like added layer because of this finger of fate of even more unexpected fated changes around those things, okay? And because that's also being affected by Uranus and Neptune, they are also being influenced by Mars. Okay? So I know this sounds like a lot to digest, but basically, anything can happen this week. Just think of it that way. Anything can happen this week. Anything can happen this week, especially in terms of relationships and what you have been bonded, committed to. Okay. And how you decide to navigate that, navigate the confrontation of all those things. Okay. Anything can happen. Okay. For this section, Aries and Libra, 20 to 25 degrees, as I mentioned in the, not overview, the little like sign breakdown, right? And Cancer, 20 to 25 degrees, right? So Cancer, where Cancer is, again, that's where all this emotional stuff is going to be coming up, but also how we navigate from our heart's desire, what we are controlled by or what we're trying to control, and what really matters to us and what's really motivating us, okay? Okay. Move on to the next. I told you guys it was a lot this week. And if you got to watch this over a few times, totally get it. It took me a while to digest all this information myself. But let's talk about the wild ride of passion. Yes, the wild ride of passion. This is all around Venus, okay? So Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are all still aspecting each other. They have been for months. We've all been under that influence. Nothing's really changing there. However, little quick mention about Vesta again. I told you Vesta be busy. Vesta's working with Uranus and Neptune and Venus. And remember, it's already working with Mars. So again, she be busy. All that's happening here with Vesta is an easier time with embracing changes to follow your calling and follow your heart's desire. That's all that's happening. Just think it's worth mentioning. This is why it's worth checking out the House of Virgo, and whatever could be going on there will only be supportive. I'm going to say that again. Anything going on in the House of Virgo, the late degrees, 25 to 29 degrees, only support. So if that house for you is like your 10th house, your career could be very supportive for you at this time, or even a good outlet for you to lean into. If it's your third house, like friends could bring unexpected opportunities or inspirations for, leading you down a path or certain experiences that are fulfilling to you, or things you've been wanting to experience, or just like help you get some shit in order, help you with like financial aid, things like that, right? So lean into your House of Virgo. It's only going to be good this week, all right? Now let's talk about Venus. So all week, Venus is sextile Pluto, but in the beginning of the week and with the full moon, it's going to be opposing Uranus and trine Neptune along with the Vesta, right? And by the end of the week, it's going to start working with the North Node. She's very busy, even as she's moving from Scorpio to Sagittarius. So let's break this down. I kind of did a good breakdown of this already in the overview, but let's run through it. So Venus sextile Pluto, which will be exact on the full moon, intensified passion Desires for intimacy, sex, romance, love, even creativity is part of this too. Opportunities to meet people could be life changing or even karmic relationships. Bodes well for finances and also pursuing personal achievements. There's also going to be an increased engagement and secrecy, affairs, but unlikely to stay hidden and become disruptive. There's some fixed star activity also supporting that as well. Now, with Venus working with Uranus and Neptune, this is bringing even more exciting changes in terms of relationships and with money. Great for unorthodox relationships or flings from us singles. And for couples, again, could be spicing some things up or deepening intimacy, unless it's unhealthy. If it's unhealthy, it's probably going to blow up in your face. Just heads up, okay? Abuse will be revealed. That was a channeling that came through in my notes. Abuse will be revealed. Abuse will be revealed. Abuse will be revealed. Sometimes they have me repeat things 3 times. But there's also going to be an increase in sensitive, compassionate, tender energy because of Venus working with Neptune, which is really nice because basically you're going to have this like coupling of passion and sex, but love and tenderness too. And there's also going to be a focus or wanting to prioritize spiritual connections. So, like, if you have a spiritual connection with somebody, and maybe for whatever reason it hasn't been able to progress or things have been kind of distant, this actually could be a week where that changes because this desire for true intimacy and healthy reciprocal relationships and spiritual connections, and also being able to express ourselves in the way that we authentically want to through our passion and through our like little bit of primal energy could totally happen. Okay. Now the North Node stuff. That's coming in towards the end of the week, but it's actually going to intensify through to the next week, okay? North Node getting into the bed with Venus. Remember what I mentioned before with this week? We already have some fated meetings happening, life-changing relationships that could be started now. The North Node working with Venus will only amplify that and support that, especially if they are relationships that are showing you how to really embrace your independence, how to really embrace yourself and your wild side and your passion, and really live life in the way that you really want to live it to the fullest, because Venus will be in Sag and North Node is still in Aries. Obviously, this is in Tropic, okay? But that's everything around Venus. And so for everything that I've just mentioned, look to your Scorpio house. Oh, Scorpio. Scorpio, 25 to 29 degrees. Okay. Have some fun. Have some fun with all of this. This is fun, okay? Venus will still move into Sag this week, like I mentioned. So there could even be some of this happening in the house of Sagittarius, but it would be early degrees, like 0 to 5. So it's just a range, but that could fall into one house for you. But if you follow whole house systems, I would look at both houses, okay? All right, last little section. I didn't even talk about this really in the overview. Well, no, I did actually. No, I take that back. I did talk about this next one a little bit. It's worth mentioning, but I wouldn't say you need to look at your charts for it. It's just worth mentioning. So, deep conversations, truths uncovered, and opportunities to support. Saturn in Pisces is sextile Ceres in Capricorn, square Pallas Athena in Sag, and opposing Orcus, while Ceres is trine Orcus. Mercury is also doing some stuff. Mercury by the end of the week will be trine Saturn, and that energy will intensify into next week. But Mercury is also square Chariklo. But since Saturn and Chariklo are in Pisces and Aquarius, they're neighbors right now. So even though the square is happening with Mercury and Chariklo, it's probably not going to be as intense. So what does all this mean? Desires and opportunities to pursue or care for your personal legacy and or future generations. That's part of this energy, okay? I'm gonna say that again because I like the way I wrote it. I wanted to cover a lot of things. Desires plus opportunities to pursue and or care for your personal legacy and or future generations, okay? However that looks in your life. Opportunities to show up for others, offer aid, receive aid. These opportunities may also reveal how to move beyond certain attachments as well. Attachments that you may have to your beliefs, to your mindsets, motives, disciplines, and routines. So it's going to open you up. So basically, the more you allow yourself to help people and also receive help from people, help could also just be support, right? It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to go in and save the day. It doesn't have to be quite like that. It could literally excuse me, just be holding space for people or even like monetarily helping. There's a lot going on with money, like in the underbelly of all this energy. But anyway, engaging in these kind of opportunities will show you a lot about yourself, okay? About how your mind should be opening up a little bit and maybe seeing things a little differently as far as like what matters to you in terms of your legacy or how you can actually help other people or even your own family and future generations, okay? Now, Mercury. With Mercury being in Scorpio, pairing up with Saturn and Pisces, Scorpio and Pisces are very psychic, but the Mercury component really deepens the analytical side of seeing deeper truths. And as I got into this, I heard root out the truth. Like root, like ROOT, rooting out the truth with Mercury trine Saturn. Already a lot of implications there. Just even the word root, right? To me says like ancestral shit or the source of things, right? Or like the bedrock or base of or foundation of things, right? This can come up in terms of like different studies that you're engaged in, even if you're like researching stuff or you're just wanting to learn about certain things. This can also come about in conversations though as well. Okay, so setting the stage here for you guys to understand this. Some of you could be studying like spiritual things, occult things. Maybe you're just like a nerd and you're just doing your nerdy thing and you start to realize a bigger truth out of whatever it is that you're researching, okay? This also really helps anyone who's like doing writing or like scribe-like work. But with conversations, these are deep dive conversations. These are like deep spiritual conversations that could be taking place that will be revealing very, very big revelations or triggering revelations, I should say, or revealing really big truths. Remember, this is a week of that. So if you've been hiding shit or someone else has been hiding shit, it's probably going to come out. Just saying, it's probably going to come out. This also can touch on like people who journey, like if you do like drum journeys or you're going on a spiritual journey or what have you. This can also help you with just like revealing some things to yourself. There may be some discomfort with some of the truth that's uncovered under this aspect. Like I almost was feeling when I was tuning into it, it almost made me feel a little jittery, like a little anxious, like almost like a stomach drop. Almost. It doesn't have to be bad. Just because we have those reactions doesn't mean it's a bad thing, right? It's just like core shaking truth, mind blowing truth, unsettling truth. It doesn't have to be bad. I always feel like truth coming out is a very good thing. But on a more mundane level, this can also be really great for tackling really difficult things. Very similar, actually, to Mars working with Uranus, okay? So again, you've put shit on the back burner, you've had trouble overcoming something as far as like plans or to-do list tasks. This is a great week for that, but more so towards the end, okay? So that's it, guys. That's all the astrology. Very curious what the collective message is going to be like with all these different layers. Pluto wants the truth. Pluto wants the truth. Orcus wants the truth. Mercury wants the truth. Scorpio wants the truth. Uranus wants the truth. The full moon wants the truth. Everyone wants the truth this week. Everyone wants the truth this week. Oh, yeah. So like I said before, if you have had a hard time digesting all this information, I get it. Because like I said, it took me a while to digest all of it myself. But this is also why you can come back to this. It's also why a lot of people who watch my astrology portions of my videos like to take notes, right? Oh. But remember, it's not all about earth-shattering truths and triggers and jealousy. It's also a week of fun. Okay? It's a week to get into that like that deep, passionate, juicy place. Yeah, lots of juices. Yeah, exactly. Like juicy place and like go and have some fun. Go have some fun. Go live life. Go discover something about yourself. Go meet some people who are going to show you something about yourself. It's definitely a week for that too. Meeting people who are going to show you some shit about you. That's for sure. That's for sure. I need to have fun. Yes. I enjoyed all the affirmations and confirmations and self-checks. You all have permission to shake that booty out all night long. Yeah, exactly. Big Bertha wants to work today, which I'm always excited when she wants to work. I'm a little dizzy. So I'm like, oh, let me slow down a little bit. We might not use the pocket archetypes. I feel like she tired. She like wants a break already. Go meet some people. Yes, yes. Gotta make the most of Broadham while we can. Girls just want to have fun. Kind of feels hard with all what's happening around the world. Hey, I get it. And that's also why callings, I think, are such a big thing right now, too. Um, yeah, that's also why I think callings are such a big thing right now, too. It's like, I understand that there's a lot going on in the world. I'm like, wait, okay, wait. I want to slow down before I really get into talking about all this. And there are absolutely ways that you can show up for those things, right? Through activism, through volunteering, through donate, whatever, through just talking about it, raising awareness. There's all kinds of things you can do to satiate that feeling of, I want to show up for these things on behalf of these things as an advocate, as a support in some way, shape, or form for the ills of the world, right? But it doesn't mean you should stop living. It doesn't. Like, and this is, I think, probably just a difference in opinion too with everything I'm about to say. And you guys know me, I try not to get political over here because it's like there's all kinds of political stuff and there's like all kinds of horrors in the world that are constantly being shown to us, like constantly. And sometimes we, have different YouTube channels that we go to get away from that stuff or to just kind of refocus or rebalance or recalibrate, because the reality is there's always going to be things in the world that are not okay. And we can feel horrible about it. We can feel guilty about it. We can feel shame about it. It can make us feel like there's no hope in the world. But it doesn't have to take us to that point. And if you want to show up in a way where you feel like, you know what, I'm going to do something about it, that's amazing. And the world could use a lot more of that from all of us, right? But it doesn't mean you stop your life, because you are here to live. You are. You are here to live. You are here to have an experience. And there are also parts of the world where, how do I want to say this? I'm trying to think of an example here. There are also parts of the world that are almost in between, right? Maybe like not the greatest of stuff is going on, but also not the most horrible of things are going on. Those people are also experiencing happy moments, right? Like, I feel like I've seen this in people just in my experience. I'm not speaking about everyone I've ever met. I'm just speaking to, like, there are a few people that come to my mind just like that I've met in the last like 34 years of my life, where they get so caught up in the like heroics of it. I'm just gotta be honest here. In the heroics of it, and the anger of it, right? The anger and rage of it, which I totally get people feeling that way, right? That they lose themselves in it, right? Or they even go as far as to judge others, right? For not being that same way, for not being as angry, for not being as upset, for not being as, to be honest, as compromised by the anger of it. But that's not bad either, right? Right? Like, does it really do anyone any good to be so distraught by the horrors of the world that you're not living your life? Does that do anybody any good? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, if you want to be upset, you want to have your anger, you're sad, get it. Totally get it. There are things we could do to make us feel like, you know what, I can do something about this, big or small. But life is worth living, and that is a choice, right? Anyway, didn't mean to get all preachy. Fun times. I'll be rewatching, yeah, the astrology segment, yeah. The higher we vibe, the more energy we have to share. Yeah, yeah. So I get it, we're human. We feel things. I'd be a little concerned if you didn't feel things, right? We all feel things. But you have room for joy. You have room for fun. Everyone does. Everyone does. Right? And I've also heard some people say, and I can't speak to this about my own life experience, right? But like, You know, there's definitely a lot of people on social media who have traveled the world, been to different places, and seen how other people are living outside of like the Western world, so to speak, at least outside of like their own little bubble of what they know, right? And they also see that like sometimes the less people have, the easier it is to like find happiness and joy in those moments. Cause you also just like treasure that more. And in a way, like being away from all of this shit, right? It's just more closer to natural living anyway, right? Okay, little tangent, and then we're gonna get back into this. Didn't expect today to be this kind of a day, but it's this kind of a day. Um, this like something that's been coming up in my awareness the last couple of days. Like I haven't been on my phone a lot, but like when I've gone on my phone for different things, how do I want to say this? Like this portion of our reality, like social media, I personally have always felt a little weird about, to be honest. I've had a very atypical relationship with it compared to the average person, is just what I would say. And I don't know, just something about it. Like as time goes on, I just like I connect and relate to it less and less and less and less and less. I just yeah. There's other words that want to be spoken there, but I don't even think that they're necessary. I don't think that they're necessary. And that's also why I don't post a lot, like on Instagram and what have you. I tried creating a TikTok and I immediately was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Just like no. Like YouTube is pretty much the capacity of like how I can engage on social media in a way that doesn't make me insane or in a way that doesn't make me feel cringy. Just speaking honestly, I'm not hating on anybody who like does TikTok or does Instagram. I'm not hating on anybody who does that. Like do your thing. If it makes you happy, do your thing, right? But there's something in me that just cringes at Instagram and TikTok. I just have a strong cringe about it. And I don't know why. I don't really know totally what it is. It's like seeing like a lot of people posting videos where it's like I'm realizing like the videos they're posting, like they're showing something that they're doing, right? That's the whole point of even posting a video. They're showing something that they're doing, right? And I'm thinking like you actually had to stop what you're doing to set up a camera to like capture this moment. And I'm just like, I don't know, just something about that. My brain can't like can't wrap myself or like I can't wrap my brain around it. Like I saw this one clip video that a couple made, and it was like a husband saying like, oh, when my wife asked me for a date night or whatever, they had all these like shots and different camera angles of driving out somewhere, setting up the truck, put an inflatable mattress, setting up a projector, putting lights and all these things. And they brought out their dinner. And like, if that makes them happy, that makes them happy. But I'm just like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, how many times did they have to stop the actual experience of watching a movie together outside to get these different angles? Right. And I'm just like, it's just not real. It's just not real. It's just not real. I guess that's what it feels like to me. It's like, it's just not real. And why are you like, why? What's the point? Like, what's the point? Right. Anyway, sorry. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And for those who are like, why doesn't she post on Instagram more? That's why. That's why. I don't know. It's not natural to me. It's not natural to the way that I function. It's just not natural the way I function. Anyway, let's get into the collective read. Sorry. Even the Karen trend is weird. Yeah, and like don't get me wrong, it's like social media I think also has like really positive benefits like connecting people, right? And also getting important information out there. Like that is a huge like plus to social media, obviously, right? Like I couldn't do this without social media. Which like I don't know, YouTube being classified as social media, I get it, but it's like also I think social media because like given my age when social media was becoming a thing, it was more like Facebook, right? Like MySpace, like things like that. So in my brain, I don't equate YouTube to social media, but I know it's classified as social media. Um, yes, there are benefits to it, but there's just almost so much like just weirdness, just weirdness. Um, like I just became aware of this trend of like people wasting food to do like intentional bad cooking videos. And I'm just why? This is I don't get it. I'm I don't get it. Anyway, I'm doing a new timestamp for the collective read. Okay. Getting away from the soapbox, let's go ahead and get into the collective reading here for the weekly. I've backed off social media because I don't know what's real anymore. Oh my God, that is the most bizarre thing, right, Marcy? Yeah, like I can tell like when the ads come up and it's like all AI. Even if it's like they're showing a video of somebody like talking on stage or something and they're supposed to be promoting something, right? And I'm just like, I can even tell that the video itself of the person talking is fake. It's like, what kind of world are we in? Anyway, sorry. Okay. Coming back. They're posting about his day. Oh, I love that. I love that. And then the comments on those are wild. Yes. Yes. I can't handle Instagram and I only use YouTube. Yeah. YouTube's about all I can handle right now. Anyway. Any messages or insights? Again, I'm starting with Big Bertha. I know I said it a while ago. If you are not familiar with Big Bertha, she's a combination deck of well, distracted, Angels and Ancestors, and the Starseed Oracle. Let's get into it. Any messages or insights for the collective this week? She a big girl. She needs a little extra shuffling. One more. One more. Any messages or insights for the collective this week? Oh, I thought I had my glasses on for a second. It was weird. Any messages or insights? Big picture thinking. Oh, we like it. We like it. Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. This is definitely something that's coming through this week, and the astrology does hone in on that, especially with truths being revealed, right? And alongside unleashing our more primal sensual selves as well, because that's where our deepest desires come from, right? So I love that this is coming out. It just feels like clarity on what's possible. It feels like clarity on what's possible. Any other messages or insights for the collective this week? Oh. Sky Father, trust in the unknown. Ooh, with Lord. Take charge with authority, Emperor energy. So we have a lot of masculine energy coming through, which is interesting too, right? Because there's a lot in the astrology that's implicating like how we are receiving, right? In that feminine way. And then here we have all this masculine energy showing up. It feels very Aries to me. It feels very Aries to me. Part of this week is also that awareness of how we do or don't assert ourselves, especially in relation to things that we are like enslaved by or bonded to. There's a big like breaking free experience that's coming through for a lot of people. And I'm hearing strategy, 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 strategy. I'm feeling that with Lord, with strategy, with strategy. Being clear on the options, being clear of what's available to you, and being clear on how to tackle that, especially if you've also become privy to like, again, what's gotten in the way of you actually being able to just assert yourself and being able to do certain things. That's what I'm really getting here. and being led as well, and being led and being led and being led. I'm getting like travel for some of you. Some of you may feel like you need to actually like go to a place or like just go and maybe again like meet people, right? Meeting people is big for this week. But as you do that, it's like only once you get there are certain pieces coming into play. So follow your intuition this week as well. If you're feeling intuitively guided somewhere, I would absolutely listen to that. I would absolutely heed that call because it's almost like once you get to that destination, you'll be surprised at what becomes even more clear for you and how you can take action there and how you can navigate that. That's like almost like walk through the door first. Walk through the door first. And then you're going to get some more pieces. Walking away, walking away, walking away. Well, we already knew that energy was around, the walking away kind of energy, right? With reevaluating the bonds, if you will. Yeah, they're showing me the 8 of Cups. Some of you are going to have an easier time walking away from certain situations or habits than you have before. I'm kind of feeling what I felt in the Cancer reading I did yesterday because I'm getting a little bit of a fed up energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of just being fed up with feeling restricted, being fed up with feeling like you have more potential that you're not rising to. That's interesting. But yeah, some of you are getting really fed up with certain situations or patterns and you're just over it. You're over it. Feels very, which makes sense. Mars is in Cancer, and that was a huge energy in the Cancer reading. There's something else going on with Sky Father. There's something else going on here. Fate is a big energy this week, like I mentioned before. Maybe that's what that is. Yeah, I feel like that's what that is. The energy of fate behind Sky Father. Well, strap in, man. It's going to be a ride. Okay? It's going to be a ride this week. Let's use the animal. Well, actually, am I doing groups today? Hold on a second. I didn't even think about that. Am I doing groups today? I'm inclined to say no, actually. Because normally I save the animals for the groups. I'm just going to trust it. Let's do animals. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, I'm telling you, cards are just flying out of my hands the last few months. Deer and elk. Divine masculine principle, divine feminine principle. Just had to show you. It's like, oh, look at that. Okay. Yeah, it feels very much like break the chains of the bonds first, walk away first, walk through the door first, and allow yourself to be surprised at what's on the other side of that. Okay. Any other messages or insights for the collective for this week? Using the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck for those who are new and you're not familiar with this deck. I knew that was going to come out. I knew that was going to come out. Raccoon. Raccoon can be a trickster energy, mischief energy, but it's also a mask energy. And for me, when this card comes out, Adelina, somebody brought her name up to me recently, and I was like, oh yeah, I miss her. For those who like don't know her, she was on YouTube like, what, 5 years ago? Oh, yeah, I think it was. I think she left in 2020. Yeah, I think it was 5 years ago. My God, 5 years. She just had such a sweet energy. She was just so sweet and like so full of life and just like amazing. I loved her. I loved her. I miss her. So many people miss her. But she did. She had to exit, but people still think of her fondly. She just had one of those energies. Anyway, Big picture thinking with the raccoon. When this card comes out, it is a masking card for me, and it usually masks some sort of like sadness or grief or fear. Okay. It can still imply that trickster energy if that's coming up in your reality. But with this coming up like in front of the door of big picture thinking, right? It's like, again, what's stopping, right? What is holding us up? What is the mask covering, right? As to why we're not walking through the door, as to why we're not walking away. And it's probably some sort of fear or sadness or just like this anxiety of what does it mean to let go of these beliefs? What does it mean to like unchain myself from the bonds of obligations, of relationships, of family shit, whatever it may be, right? Or again, it could just be straight up fear, but that's what I'm feeling with raccoon. Like this is almost like a hindrance. The raccoon's a hindrance as to what is available to us and for us being able to really see, right? To really see and really walk away. Can I get one more? Can I get another card with the raccoon? Some of you may need to dare yourself. I'm getting a little bit of like, push yourself over the edge a little bit. Like to dare yourself. Oh my God. And of course we get the Cobra, which is my dare card, basically. This is my Saturn card, even though it's a snake. I know it's like not typical association with Saturn. This is just how I've gotten to know this card. It can be a mentor mentee, like student teacher kind of an energy, which trickster medicine also does the same thing. But this Cobra card usually like applies pressure of some kind and kind of dares you to see the truth or to do something or to go for it or just honor, you know what I mean? It just dares you. It dares you. And that's exactly what I was feeling. Almost like in your face confrontation of what we need to sever our bonds with, what or who, so we can walk through the door and see very clearly that we can walk through the door. So it's a dare. It's a dare, it's a dare, it's a dare. Again, some of you may not experience this. Some of you may have already been through this, okay? Very interesting. I'm curious to get into Sky Father, though. Let's get into Sky Father. Can I get a card for Sky Father for the collective this week? Intuition. We have Dragonfly. Dragonfly for some people can be a medicine of change or transformation. For me, it's a medicine of ajna, of perception, of beliefs, of what you are seeing or not seeing. But it's like, it's really that prominent ability to shift your perception, open up your mind, and see what's really there, right? And that coming through with Sky Father was kind of what I was getting before, where it's like, follow your intuition. Follow your intuition. Let your intuition guide you here. Because even as you may become aware of how you're holding yourself back or how certain bonds are holding you back or even pushback from other people, right? And like how, right, you need to get away from all that stuff to walk through the door. Even if you are seeing that, there is still something about you're not really sure what's on the other side. Not entirely sure what's on the other side, but your soul knows. Your soul knows. There's also an energy of, can you really change your mind? Is your mind malleable? In a way that's obviously like healthy. We don't want to be like manipulated, right? That's like not what we're talking about here, right? But it's like, can you be less rigid and open-minded, right? Can I get another card for Sky Father? What you're pulled to. Starfish. This is allowing yourself to be aware of what you're being pulled to, even if you can't see it fully. Yeah, very interesting. The starfish is a captivating, magnetic sort of an energy. Everybody loves the starfish. Everybody's drawn to the starfish. It kind of has the magnetism of a Queen of Wands. Without being a Queen of Wands, I also equate this to the Star card, right? But I feel like it's this intuitive pull. It's a call. The calling, right? That we keep referencing in the astrology portion. All right, tell me about Lord. Tell me about this like Emperor masculine energy over here. Tell me about Lord, please. Some of you, there's going to be some self-worth stuff coming up. Like, do you believe in yourself? Like self-esteem. Tell me about Lord, please, for the collective. Horsey horse. I love the horse. The horse in this deck is a master of earth, the ultimate multitasker. The person that wakes up at 4 in the morning, does their yoga, goes to the gym, takes a shower, makes breakfast for everybody, goes to work, works all day, goes grocery shopping at the end, comes home clean. You know what I mean? It's like they do it all. They do it all. The horse is also a card or medicine of independence and stamina and grace and freedom as well. Taking control of our own lives by recognizing what's controlling us. Recognizing what's controlling us and doing something about it. So we can be free in our authority to have control over ourselves and our life. That's what I'm getting from that. Can I get another one for Lord, please? Can I get another card for Lord for the collective? Ooh. Ooh, Buffalo. Buffalo is a tower card for me personally. It's about getting through big changes with ease and with grace, which the horse does. But yeah, this is all just kind of coinciding together, right? So seeing the truth of what's controlling us, how to take back our power and have more control over ourselves and our own life, while also being open to what's possible and what's available to us as we break free from those things that have been controlling us and dominating us. Very nice. Very, very nice. Some of you may, I'm hearing shake the ground. Okay. Okay. Some of you may be triggering metaphorical earthquakes, okay, in your life or in your relationships. That was like something that just came through. Like this feels very intentional. That feels very intentional. Like just recognizing that you're in kind of a compromising position because of beliefs or relationships or commitments or contracts or what have you. And it's almost like you kind of get dared to do something about it. So you shake the ground. So you cause a little earthquake with what you are bonded to. It's very interesting. Okay. Okay. Some of y'all may be stirring the pot, okay, this week. When Cancer posts on YouTube, if you guys resonate with like that message and you have Cancer in your chart, you are definitely going to want to watch Cancer. I think I literally labeled it rebellion, okay? It was crazy. I was like, this is not a typical Cancer read. It felt like I was reading for like, I don't know, like a fire sign or like an Aquarius. It was very much like, F the rules. I don't have any more Fs to give. Like that was very much the Cancer reading. And I'm kind of feeling that here. It's like, it's a very daring stance to take with this Lord energy in response to seeing this, in response to recognizing this, in response to not being able to like look away from this. All the while, you're feeling called or pulled to other things or to nurture specific things that are fulfilling for you, right? Even if you don't have a full understanding of the A to Z of it all, you have this call, you have this pull, and then you have this dare. And it basically becomes like, you feel B, but you're stuck in A. Are you going to do something about it? Yeah, I'm going to destroy A. I'm going to destroy A or find a way to walk away from A completely or sever myself from A. Like, it's very much like that, which was very much the Cancer read. Interesting. Okay. I am going to pull a couple of tarot cards for this one, and then I'm going to get into the feels of if we're going to do groups or not. Okay. I just want to get like one tarot card in each section here. I will stare death in the eyes if it means getting what I want. Are you a Scorpio? Or a Taurus? I feel like Tauruses would totally do that. You're gonna get in the way of my comfort? What? Of my plans? Really? You think you will? You think you're gonna be able to do that? I feel like that's very Taurus. Cancer will probably post tomorrow. Cancer will probably post tomorrow. I did Cancer, Aries, and Aquarius. And did Cancer first. Okay, one more shuffle. Can I get a card for Raccoon, Cobra, and Big Picture Thinking? Yeah, I'm hearing I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. And again, there's a huge variety of like things that could fall into that category for everybody, since this is a collective reading. But the I don't need this anymore. Definitely feeling like a habit. Definitely feeling a habit pattern. I want to say habit pattern with that of I don't need this anymore. I don't need to keep doing this or engaging in this or experiencing this. Claim that Raccoon, Cobra. Two of Wands. Being at a crossroads. It's like, am I going to break away or not? Am I going to break away or not? Like you see this one wand is like literally, what's the word I'm looking for? Welded, right? Like welded to the stone wall. And the other one, they have complete control over. I almost feel like there should be a little chain right here. Are you going to continue to be here for however many months, weeks, years? Are you going to continue that? Or are you going to break out a little bit? Are you going to decide that you don't need to be stuck on the wall, tied to the wall, chained to the wall? You've got the world in your hands. You've got the world ahead of you, everything ahead of you. You got one foot out the door. You might as well recognize that this is not serving you. Your soul's already choosing this. Your body needs to follow. That's what I just heard. Your soul's already chosen. The soul already knows. The body needs to follow. The soul already knows, the body needs to follow. Maybe that'll be the title of this. Hold on a second. I'm getting a little download here. Some of you may be experiencing that in dream time. Like in dream time, maybe you're like traveling a lot, or going to like very specific places. Others of you could be having this experience of waking up and almost like, that would be kind of eerie. Like maybe getting confused on where you are. I almost want to say I'm not a doctor. That sounds like an alarming thing to experience. But like maybe waking up and thinking you're actually somewhere else. You could also just like no longer resonate with like a certain environment, or just like a certain like habit or, you know, group of people or relationship, like almost like you're not there anymore. Oh, that's interesting. Some of you are definitely experiencing that. Like you are not in that anymore. Like you are elsewhere, but the body clearly has not caught up yet. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Like you can't relate or connect to a relationship anymore, a person anymore, an environment. Like it just does nothing for you. It's because your soul's already where your body needs to be. Wow. Okay. Speaking of, let's look at the calling. Tell me about Dragonfly and Starfish for Skyfather, the collective. Am I taking these? Yeah. Oh, well. Six of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. That doesn't surprise me. Six of Swords is a card of movement, right? Moving on, moving forward, crossing the water. And I've mentioned this before, but any references of crossing water is usually an indication of like being in an in-between, or even crossing realms or crossing timelines, getting from point A to point B. It's a transient in-between sort of a space, right? But I feel like there's something about that too, like the timeline reality thing that wants to be mentioned here. Page of Pentacles is a card of trust, but it's also a card of practicality and wanting to make plans. And I keep getting like, there are steps that have to happen before other things can come in, right? We need to sever, walk away, like have that kind of movement to walk through the door, metaphorically speaking, to gain more pieces, okay, for other things to present themselves. Like the exit the severing, the evacuation, even must be said, needs to happen before you can also receive. Some of you may get some help in this, like tangible help. And that's also part of the astrology as well. My Page of Pentacles is also my card of friendship. It's my card of allyship. And even with the Six of Swords, it usually implies like there is some sort of support in getting across the river, right? So for some of you, you could be doing this with a friend, or maybe a friend like says something to you and that's like all you need is a light bulb, or like your indication of, oh, that's it, that's what I need to be doing or not doing, etc. Like just like a light bulb moment. But I do feel like there is support for you in doing this, okay? Yeah, I'm feeling strong friend, like friend. Some of you, this is coinciding with a new perspective on, I don't want to, well, reality, but like that's very broad. I want to say new beliefs around money, new beliefs around like the importance or value of materials, maybe even a new perspective on work and like what work even is for you, what you would like to experience out of your career. I'm also getting that too, a new perspective on that. I'm hearing a new addition on that for some of you. Interesting. All right. Let's look at Lord with horse and buffalo. I'm like, this energy makes me giggle a little bit too, because it's very much like, I'm gonna make the earth shake. It's like, okay. Okie dokie. Whew. Tell me about Lord with horse and buffalo. Oh yes, don't forget to like the video. Thank you, Marcy, for the reminder. Please, if you're in here, please like the video. Okay. Lord, horse, and buffalo for the collective this week. Well, not surprising, right? Ace of Swords is the sword of truth. It also is the indication of like getting into the place of mastery of the mind, right? But it's truth, it's clarity, it's also communication, but the sword is also a tool symbolically of destruction and creation, right? It's the cutting of the ribbon, so to speak. It's the symbol of, we're doing this now. This is happening now. And that's also why it's considered like a hard yes card or a hard no card in tarot. We also have the Emperor. This is also the awareness that you have the power, the authority, the command of yourself and how you navigate your life. What you say, what you almost want to say, well, I almost wanted to say what you say goes, but that's not quite right. It's like how powerful your words can be and how powerful your command and willpower can be if you stick to it, right? Your life is your life. You will do what you want with it. You are the commander of your own ship. We all are. We all are. There's a very strong stance of authority here, and it's reminding me of what I talked about in the full moon Aries of no is a full sentence. Boundaries are also a big thing this week and with the full moon, but that's what I'm getting with this too. No is a full sentence. Yes is a full sentence. And you have the power to say no, and you have the power to say yes. You have the power to say stop. You have the power to say yes, green light. Even if you're just doing it for yourself. I feel like you're wielding a big sword here. And with your sword, you're going to make the earth shake, okay? In relation to this. You're going to take that sword and you're going to like just cut away the invisible chain there that you're tied to with that pole, all right? I want to pull another card on that one because I'm just like, it's making my heart go like this. You may need to do this in confronting people, okay? You may need to do this with other people, not just with yourself. Can I get a third card? Please, look. Mm-hmm. Just indicating how big that is. Tell you more about the Ace of Swords with Emperor. And remember, we've been mastering the sword too for the last, probably since August. Now I can't remember, timeline's getting all mixed up. Ever since August, potentially, I want to say it was ever since August, we've been mastering the mind. We've been mastering how to hold and wield our swords, which is our words, but it's also our thoughts. It's also our beliefs, right? In a way, it's also our compass. To not allow people to compromise that for us, to make sure we're always centered and strong in that, in our beliefs, in our truth, in our voices. And when we need to actually use it, right? When to say no and when to say yes. When to take action and when not to. Tell me about Ace of Swords and the Emperor. Just want to get one card, please. Just one card. Let's see what it is. Ooh. 10 of Pentacles. And it's interesting too, because I've never noticed that the Emperor holds a coin. It's not quite a pentacle, but it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Oh my God, look at the imagery. I just realized he's holding the staff, the sword, he's holding the coin, the 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles is the kingdom, the empire of the Emperor. It is just representing what happens in your life is up to you, okay? You can protect the container of your life, whether that's career, your family, your health, your money, your legacy, your vision, whatever that is, right? You hold that in your hands and it's up to you. It's your responsibility to protect this. And you protect that by using the sword, okay? We all do. We all possess this capability. We all possess this power. This is a week of remembering that and not allowing ourselves to stay here, okay? Not allowing ourselves to stay here, stay chained, stay scared. Ooh, not allowing ourselves to stay scared. That's interesting. This is like such a dare from the Cobra. So remember that. Remember that. Your life is your own responsibility, including upholding it, maintaining it, and protecting it, and acting on its behalf, which is just acting on an extension of yourself. That was a message. I'm trying to fill into groups. I really don't think groups are happening today, guys. It just doesn't feel necessary. Actually, okay, I'm going to try something. This might be interesting. Because I've noticed the less cards I pull, sometimes the more channelings come through. I'm going to pull one card for each element. And let's see how that goes. I'm already feeling water, so water, we're going first. I'm debating which one. Tarot or archetype? Tarot. They're saying tarot. Okay, unicorns or glow in the dark? Glow. Okay. Yeah, let's give this a try. This might be fascinating. Come here. Okay. All right. Water first. If you're using the timestamps and just tuning in, for the elements this time, we're just doing one card each. Water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancer signs. Cancer signs. Cancer signs. Water signs. Cancer, Pisces. Cancer is strong. Cancer is very strong. Water signs. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Can I get a card for my water signs for this week? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Take to the sky. I'm taken to the sky. I'm taken to the sky. That just screams perspective. Okay. Perspective and clarity of mind, clarity of thought. I'm also hearing clearing the air. Some things may get cleared up that have been murky, but I want to say misunderstandings, water signs. I want to say misunderstandings on behalf of you or behalf of other people, like basically you misunderstanding something or someone doing that to you. But yeah, misunderstandings are getting cleared up here this week for a lot of you. Can I get a card for my water signs for this week? Just one card, please. Now, I'm glad we're doing this. This is very interesting. I have a combination deck with Lenormand cards and Kipper cards. They're just different divination tools. I'm being pulled to that, and they're showing me the heart card is what they're showing me. So water signs, especially given that Mars and Venus are in your signs and they're wreaking up all kinds of energy with romance and all of that, I wouldn't be surprised if there are some revisiting certain romantic situations this week for you, which again, clearing the air could be part of that. Even just forgiveness could be part of the heart card, even potentially new romantic relationships on board. So I'm starting to think a lot of romance is coming through for you this week. Anyway, there, keep honing in on this, or reflections of. Can I get a card for my water signs, please? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Even with Neptune being in even Neptune being in Pisces also emphasizes like romantic energies, right? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Why are they showing me a basketball? Like, maybe you bonded with somebody over basketball. I don't know why basketball is coming up. Anyway, random. Okay. Water signs. Am I taking this one? Yes. Ooh. Oh, chills. Chills, water signs. The world. This is a card of the Saturn return. This is a card of major karmic cycles closing and ending, major lessons learned. Also, international travel comes with the world card. So let's just sit on this one card for my water signs. I'm immediately drawn to the eagle. Immediately drawn to the eagle, which actually represents Scorpio. Okay, so they're highlighting Scorpio here. Which makes sense because also the world, it represents the fixed signs. We have Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo. Just, educating you guys. Anyway, let's come back for my water signs here. The clarity of things long over. I'm also hearing initiations. Some of you may have been feeling like you're in initiations. That's also been a big theme for the collective for months now. I keep getting this, like the heart card, they keep showing it to me and like revisiting. I'm getting revisiting matters of the heart. But I feel like these are also very tangible encounters or conversations. Could be happening in dream time as well. Some of you may be confronting an Aquarius, or an Aquarius may be confronting you. Something with Aquarius, potentially even the other fixed signs, because again, this card represents the fixed signs. But something with Aquarius is coming through. Actually, I did do the Aquarius read, and that one was heavily involved in romance, which I was like, whoa, I haven't had one of those in a long time. But anyway, I feel a confrontation of Aquarius. But even what is Aquarius, right? Aquarius is the authentic self. It's the authentic self. It's also visionary, innovative, creative. A little streak of rebel, or a little streak of humanitarian. You may be confronting these aspects of yourself. If you have a strong Aquarian placement, I would look at that in your chart. But let's come back a little bit. I feel like we're getting 2 in the Aquarius energy. Let's come back to like deep in the water signs for Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. They are showing me a bear, which I'm not surprised. There's also some bear symbology this week through the fixed stars, but they're showing me the bear, but they're emphasizing the strength. They're emphasizing the strength of the bear. Bear can come in all forms of medicine. It could come in the form of like a medicine of love, a medicine of recovery, a medicine of hibernation, a medicine of rebirth, but also a medicine of protection and stamina and strength. The strength is what's coming through here. Protection. Water signs, you may have an inch. So I know we're focusing on this week, but I feel like I'm getting carried out 3 weeks. Hope it's not 3 months. I'm gonna say it's 3 weeks. Something in the next 3 weeks, potentially, whenever you come across this is timeless. Within that 3-week period, there may be a period within that period where you feel like you need to be highly protected. I want to say you innately are protected, okay? I don't think it's anything that you're going to have to like put a lot of energy in enforcing, but maybe just have your eyes and ears on. What is this protection that's coming through? Yeah, I do. I feel like you've got like a strong non-physical like presence around you, just keeping tabs on you, watching you. You could even like work with the bear, and the bear could be looking out for you as a guardian. But even when I say protection, like I don't want you guys to get concerned, because I know some people watch me who are not mystics and like, oh no, I need to protect that. And it's like, oh no, you're fine, calm down, calm down. It's just like this feeling of like needing to be very aware of what you're exposing yourself to and who. You may be like, you may have a week within the next 3 weeks where you're really extra sensitive. Okay. It just feels like there's a week within the next 3 weeks that's really important for you to have your eyes and ears on, to be listening, to be aware, to pay attention. But I keep feeling like you are protected almost, I want to say, by the bear. By the bear. Water signs. I also feel like some of you, I'm getting this feeling of giving up. While we are in a week of like severing from things that are definitely we don't need to be bonded to anymore, some of you have been contemplating giving up on something that I almost want to say Spirit wants you to stick with. Discerning that from what you need to like sever a bond from may be difficult, but it's possible. But it's possible. But it's possible. The giving up, whatever it is you want to give up on, it almost feels like I'm getting like an exhausted feeling. Like maybe you've been very exhausted or very drained with something that you've been like putting energy into, or you again have felt bonded to. But I want to say your actual hopes and wishes and dreams are tied to that. Like it's not just like I'm in this relationship because I've been in this relationship, or I'm just doing this job because it pays me. It's not quite like that, which I would say is more in the bucket of things that we are severing ourselves from, right? Like unhealthy, devilish, restrictive things that are like not healthy for us. I feel like what you've been thinking about giving up on is actually tied to something you really want, like a wish or a dream. And maybe it's been a little hard, maybe it's been a little rough, and you're like, where is this going? There's a need to have a little bit more faith and to stay the course. But again, use your discernment here, because like that's a very tricky thing to navigate. That's also why I even said like you may struggle to discern this, but I feel like this is hitting for who it is for. Anything else for my water signs? Now they're giving me a dog. Let's look at the dog. Something about loyalty and family. Something about loyalty and family. Okay. Loyalty is a precious commodity, and it shouldn't be frivolously given. Shouldn't be easily given. Some of you, I think, are coming into some major awarenesses as far as, I want to say lessons, really. Lessons that are coming with awarenesses of how much loyalty you've given when there wasn't that, like you just I want to say just no. I just want to say no, just no. Like abuse of loyalty is what I'm gathering here. And I feel like that's rooted in family or people you've identified as family. Abuse of your loyalty. Maybe you've abused other people's loyalties. That's also what I'm getting from my water signs. Showing me a mountain. Like I said, I could get pretty carried away in these channelings, so I'm probably going to wrap up water signs soon. But the last thing that I want to mention, maybe two more things I want to mention. Okay, sorry, two more things I want to mention. They're showing me a mountain. I feel like that applies to those who are like thinking of giving up on something. Mountains usually come through as blocks or challenges or just like indicating a level of difficulty. They're actually also symbols of protection. So if you've been getting like mountain symbology, that's probably why. But again, just don't give up on dreams. Don't give up on dreams. Give up on unhealthy shit. Drop unhealthy shit. Don't give up on dreams. I think that's all that needs to be said about that. But something else that I'm getting, the number 4 may be very significant for you. The 4 of Wands may be coming out if you guys pull cards for yourself. There may be 3 significant people in your life or coming about in your life. Yeah, interesting. That's all they want me to say on that. I don't know. There's some crazy going on with that, but that doesn't need to be discussed. But that's what I was getting from my water signs. All right. Air, earth, or fire? Oh, let's do air. Okay. Oh, 50. We'll just do 50. Okay. All right. Can I get a card for my air signs? Gemini. Actually, hold on a second. Energy up. Oh, clear some of the energy up a little bit. All right. Air signs. Something's growing. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Like they're literally showing me a vine. It's just like oh, okay. Something is growing. Air signs. Something is growing. Something. What is growing? What's growing? What's growing? What's growing? What's growing? Feels like various things. Okay, something's growing for you. Dare I say it's your faith? Maybe it's your faith. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Oh, wow. Big boy cards for everybody today. The Star card. So water signs have the World. Air signs have Star, which is Aquarius. So Aquarius, you're showing up pretty heavy in the air reading here. Pleiades always comes through for me as well with the Star card. We also had that coming through with this card in the collective reading. Arcturians are also highly aspected just because they're, that star is active around this time. But let's get into this for my air signs. So I said what's growing, and I'm like, oh, it's your faith. The Star card can also represent that. The Star card is a card of healing and enlightenment and truth as well. A lot of you have found a really nice balance. If not, you're going to be finding that soon. Yeah. I want to say like balance of your like material plane of your physical reality. And I even want to say routine. I'm getting strong Virgo, like really, really strong Virgo going on, and a little bit of Gemini I'm feeling here, but this is an air sign reading as well. I would really pay attention to birds. Birds may be coming through or like just acting weird around you. The animal guardians are coming out today because for water sign, I had bear, and for you guys, I'm getting birds. I almost feel like birds are like watching you, watching over you. Just very interesting. Anything else from my air signs here? Yeah, I keep feeling like your faith and your belief is actually strengthening. Allowing yourself to even have a little bit of fantasy. I'm feeling a little bit of Pisces going on in here. Have a little bit of fantasy of like what is possible, like a little bit of daring to dream is what I'm getting from my air signs, which feels really good. That feels really good. Some of you are wanting to be around water a lot. I think that would only be good for you. It'd probably be very rejuvenating. I'm getting just like a breath of fresh air kind of energy with you guys with my air signs. Anything else? I think my air signs are having an easier time with their path, Yeah, because like there's a card in a deck that I don't really work with anymore from the energy oracle cards, and it's called Adjacent Possibilities. They're showing me that card. It's like you're seeing again all the possibilities and potentials, but you have like this very clear sight of like, no, I want that one. I want that one. I want to walk through that door. That's my door. It's actually kind of cute. I feel like your inner child is helping you with this. Definitely feeling strong inner child there. Yeah, that's my door. I'm going to go walk through it now. The number 7 is coming up, which is also being divinely guided, spiritually guided. I was like, so I can't get away from that like cute energy. Something about that was just so like, I don't know, just like very adorable. Very playful. Very playful. Some of you are inviting in more play. Learning to take things less seriously. Yeah, this is like a very light energy. It is actually reminding me of the Aquarius reading that I did. Anything else? Something about berries. I don't know. Maybe you're eating a lot of berries lately. Just something about berries just wanted to be mentioned. Like, okay, berries. Anything else for air signs? Even if you have a confrontation, I don't think it's going to be much of one. Like, I kind of have that feeling of like someone just like yelling at a wall. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, someone like just in the throes of their emotional arousal, and you're just in this like, you're just in this state. Um, yeah, there's a confrontation. I don't think it's going to be much of one. I think you're very open to people right now. Or at least you are opening up. Some of you are opening up to people. Some of you are already there. And that just feels really nice. It feels like a really great exchange of joy, to be honest. Yeah, air signs, it feels like you're in a really good way this week. It feels like you're in a really good way. That Virgo energy is coming up again. Tending to. So while you are experiencing, you have a lot of like space, I want to say, for like this kind of lighthearted, joyful kind of energy. You are tending to things. This could be work, could be, you know, whatever projects. It feels very like hands-on. Like you may be using your hands a lot to create something or to like literally just cultivate something or put energy into something. But you are you're tending to certain goals that you have, things that nourish you. Yeah, thank you. You're nurturing things that nourish you. Yeah. Air signs, I don't have much else to say. I mean, this just feels really yummy. This feels really yummy. Oh, oh, with the opening, there's a little bit of opening lines of communication. Mm, that's kind of on board for this week, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? There are certain lines, they're saying certain lines of communication that you are allowing, permitting. That feels healing. That to me feels very healing. So it does seem like you are also mending certain relationships this week, but it's very intentional. It's very specific. I feel like a little bit of Scorpio is coming in here. It almost feels like before you do this or before you allow or permit this, there is this definite like reevaluating things. Like this happened, this was said, this wasn't said. Like almost going through a like accountings of events or accountings of conversations with a fine-tooth comb, and then allowing lines of communication. Like that's kind of what I'm getting. Some of you may even like make a list of pros and cons, or like actually go through things that you want to say or that you're looking for, and that feels so Scorpio. Yeah, interesting. So some of you guys are mending certain lines of communication while you are tending to your things, while you're also enjoying very like lighthearted energy, joyful energy. You got the birds looking out for you. So that's like that's what I'm getting from my air signs. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Whew. This is definitely like I can feel it. I'm like, ugh. Okay. Earth or fire? Fire, I'm nervous for you. The second I said fire, I had this like anxiety hit my soul there. It was like, oh. So are we doing earth or fire? Oh, we are. We're doing fire. Okay. Okay. Fire it is. Oh yeah, I like so doing it this way. I like this. It intensifies the energy though. It definitely intensifies the energy. Like I feel like I have to like really clear after each one, compared to normal. Okay. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. Yeah, I'm like, I'm getting more nervous as I'm trying to talk. I'm like, are you fighting? Are you fighting? Are you getting ready to fight? Is that what's going on? Are you just really in your emperor right now? Throwing that sword around? Is that what's going on? Aries, Leo, Sag. Can I get a card for fire signs for this week? There's definitely a lot of passion. There's definitely a lot of passion. A lot of passion. Passion can go either way. That can be fun in the sack. That could be creative. That could be frolic, right? That could be rage, anger, fighting. But, passion is passion. Okay, can I get a card for my fire signs? Yeah, fire signs. I feel like something is coming up from deep within you, like being called out is what I want to say. Like I want to say there's like an external circumstance or something that's like evoking this very deep passion from within you. That doesn't have to be bad. It's just making me nervous. I think because I don't like have a lot of fire in my chart, I'm like, fire, no, don't burn me. um, but that's what I'm getting. And it could literally be like if it's in the realm of like fighting, right? It could be like some kind of shit's going down and you're just like, no, right? And you like get into your fiery ways about it. It could also be like an actual arousal, like a sexual arousal, and you just like some kind of inner animal just comes out and you can't help it, right? So anywhere in between is kind of what I'm getting here. Can I get a card for my fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. I'm taking these now. Some of you work with Odin, or Odin is like nearby. They were showing me the dogs. I know Odin's known for his ravens, but he also has dogs, and they were emphasizing the dogs, which is interesting because dog also came up with air signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. Can I get a card for my fire signs for this week? I want one, not two. They're giving me two. I just want one. All right, we'll take two. Oh my. Yeah, no wonder I was getting all nervous. 5 of Swords and the 10 of Wands for my fire signs. Let's get into it, okay? I can't get away from that feeling of like something happening externally and something in you goes, fire. Must act, must say, must do, must respond, must react. It's like, it's very, this could be a straight up trigger, okay? But I feel like I want to say it's evoked out of you. It's like pulled out of you. It's called out of you. Oh, like, that's so interesting. Almost like if someone were to say something, it's like it's what they said, it's how they say it. It almost I don't want to sound all dramatic, but it's just like to really hit home on like how intense this is. It almost acts as a call or like invocation or something to pull something up and out. Oh, okay. So on a mystical level, for my mystics, that could actually be what's happening. Like somebody's using their mastery of words to almost pull something out of you. That is so crazy. They could be like a Gemini or a Scorpio. Geminis and Scorpios do that to people. That's so crazy. Anyway, let's come back. Let's come back to these other things maybe going on for you. Fire signs. There's a clear stressor burden that's like breaking. Okay. Yeah, it feels like a breaking point. I want to say breaking point, boiling point that you're experiencing this week, and it's giving way, and you just kind of have to let it. I think it's very uncomfortable, and I want to say it's putting you in acting defense mode. Like this actually reminds me of the Aries reading. Like I must handle, I must take care of this. Yeah, this is actually exactly what came up in the Aries reading that I did. If it's giving way, it has to give way for a reason, because if there's like that much of hitting a breaking point or a boiling point, something was not okay. Something was not working. And in a way, it's like exercising something. I know all this sounds is just like how it wants to come out. Exercising something that shouldn't have been there. Okay. Exercising something that is like not healthy, that is like, well, devilish, right? Exercising something that's not healthy, whether it's something in the situation, whether it's a person involved in the situation or your life, or something within yourself, like a trigger of yours, right? I feel like there's so much feeling of wanting to fight. Fire signs. There's so much feeling of wanting to fight or wanting to control. Let's get deeper into the fire signs, please. I want to get into this Five of Swords a little bit more. For some, the breaking point or boiling point might actually be another person like walking away. Or initiating the breaking point. Like almost someone else is saying enough. And then you're reacting to that. Now keep in mind, it's like that can be reversed or vice versa. It doesn't matter how the levee's breaking, the levee's breaking. Yeah, I just feel like there's this like intense awareness that, excuse me, something is leaving your reality, something is no longer going to be a part of your reality or someone, but it is a good thing. I want to say it is a really good thing. I think it's going to lead to healing, and I think it's going to lead to your own freedom if you let it, if you allow yourself to see that, to be open to that. Especially if it's like showing you a trigger of yours, you can be free of that trigger. It's a window to see that about yourself. Okay? I'm feeling a big like protective energy now too. I want to say you're the protector here. You're taking on the role of protector. Maybe this is also why you feel so strongly about this. Maybe you've actually been protecting something or someone, and you're not playing that role anymore, or that situation's not happening anymore for you to play that protector. And you don't like it. You like that role. You like that role. You like to be the protector. You like to be the overseer. For some of you, this is about like being a leader or a boss and no longer, or even like maybe being like head of household and no longer. I hope this isn't involving your like kids. Like some of you that might, oh God, I hope that's not happening. If you think you're losing your kids, I'm sorry you're going through that. That feels more like custody, like maybe custody battle. I really hope you're not going through that. Anyway, let's move on from that. Tell me more about this protector. Some of you this actually might be a window too for some of you to realize like the way you protect or why you want to protect, like the roots of that might not be healthy. Like I almost feel a little bit of like egoic heroism involved in that, like altruistic narcissism involved in that. Again, this doesn't have to be you because this could be reversed or vice versa. Okay, it could be someone that you're dealing with and maybe you're over their shit and you're like, yeah, I'm done, this ain't healthy, bye. Right? Could absolutely be that. But it's got a little flavor of that. When we get into like egoic heroics, there's satisfaction from feeling special. There's satisfaction from praise. There's satisfaction from like feeling needed, being needed, which is also codependent, right? A lot of things coming to light, fire signs, whether for you or people around you. Okay, so I know some of these things are hard to hear. So like just remember, this might not be for you. It might be for someone you know. Some of you are definitely getting, okay, going a little broader here. I'm getting stuff about family dynamics, family household. This can even include people that like are in your house a lot, even if they don't live there, that wanted to be mentioned. So like people who have, oh, interesting. People who have influence over your family. Whoa, okay. People who have influence over your family or in your family. That kind of stuff is coming to light. I'm feeling like what we picked up, what we were talking about in the astrology portion, like abuse and secrets, manipulations coming to light, and that is actually triggering a breaking point. Yeah, lies coming to light. Wow, this is like heavy stuff. I did not expect this. I mean, because look at what we had for for water and for air, right? And then this is what we get for fire. And I was like, ah, but some of these things need to be said. And keeping in mind, you could be getting away from all of that yourself versus being the one who's kind of like needing to be in the thick of it, right? Some of you are also becoming aware of, for those who struggle with vulnerability, why you struggle with vulnerability. Oh, fire signs. And how that's affected your relationship experience. I feel like for those where that applies, there's like a particular person, could be a friend. Like a lot of there's like a strong friendship here, whatever that is. Even if it's like a romantic relationship, there's a strong basis of friendship. just like how much the lack of vulnerability, for some, the lack of honesty has like impacted your ability to engage with this person in a healthy way or connect to this person in a healthy way. There's also a lot about like listening. Listening. There's also a lot about listening. How that needs to, not needs to improve, I don't want to say it that way, but benefit to improve on that. People always have a way of telling on themselves. I used to say this a lot, I haven't said it in a bit, but people have a way of telling on themselves, right? If you just listen closely, people tell you everything you need to know about them, like their character, etc., what they've done, what they will do. It's just how humans are. But there's something about that of like listen to what people are saying, listen to like even watch their body language. There's like a need to pay attention to the people that you're surrounding yourself with or the people that you're engaged with in relation to this breaking point. What they're showing you about themselves, what they're also showing you about you. Anything else? Anything else? If there have been like confrontations or conflicts or misunderstandings in the past, those are also getting cleared up. I got that for water as well. But something about that's becoming clear. And I think with the revealing of manipulation, the revealing of truth, the revealing of secrets, those kinds of things, it's making misunderstandings a lot more clear. And assumptions that have taken place. Yeah, there's a lot here, fire signs. I feel like it's just a lot of clarity of bullshit that's happened around you, but also that's been coming from within, which are speaking more to like illusions and assumptions and preconceived notions and manipulations and all those things. Decisions. Some of you waited to make a decision. Decision's been made for you. If you're continuing to sit on a decision, it will be made for you soon if it hasn't already. That might also be part of the breaking point for some of you. Yeah, I encourage you, fire signs, if you're going to experience this like boiling point, breaking point, don't fight it. I really want to say don't fight it. Just let it show you things. Let it reveal things to you, because I feel like that's the main purpose of it, is like it's breaking because there's unhealthy shit there. Okay? Even if you're just witnessing it happening to another person. Wow. Okay. Let's move on. Let's do Earth. I know, sorry that wasn't more like yummy like the other ones, but just was wanted to come through. Let's clear the air. Oh no, coffee. Let's do coffee. Coffee is such a good friend. Earth signs. Did I do a timestamp? I did. Okay. Whew. I was starting to like sleep. Whoa. Hold on a second. Let me light this to blow out that fire sign stuff. And remember, fire, like the fire signs, at least for astrology, Aries has Chiron. And it is a full moon Aries, which is reveals, right? So I guess kind of makes sense that like all that shit was coming out that way for fire reading. Ooh. Just clearing the energies. Cleansing the energies to make space for the next reading. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. All right. Earth signs. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. All right, so immediately getting into Earth, I already feel this like like a calming energy is coming through with Earth, maybe even patient. Earth signs, you may have been very patient about some stuff. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo for this week. Any messages or insights for my earth signs? Can I get one card? Just looking for one card for my earth signs. They're showing me the Nine of Pentacles. We'll see if that comes out. Nine of Pentacles is a very solid energy, right? It's confidence. It's having independence, self-reliance, having a lot of resources at your disposal. It's a really, really nice energy. I keep feeling like you've been patient. You've been very patient about something. You've been staying the course of something. You have confidence in something. And you're still there. You're still there. Can I get a card for my earth signs? Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Come here. Well, I guess that is kind of what I'm feeling with you. I'm feeling a very balanced energy. We have Two of Pentacles coming out with earth signs. This could also indicate decisions to be made, weighing things up, but I'm feeling the balance is what I'm really feeling with you. Like you're very, very balanced and grounded and centered and very patient right now. Let's see. Let's get a little deeper into this. Sorry guys. I'm getting strong Taurus now. I feel like Taurus has been started creeping into the readings a little bit. Like Leo was for a hot minute. I'm starting to feel like Taurus is doing the same now. Taurus, why are you so present? Why are you so present? Earth signs, I feel like there's a big like holding things down. Like, you know, like when I say like holding things together, like keeping things in place. Yeah, I feel like you're just keeping the balance of things right now is mostly what I'm getting with you. Securing things. I feel like you guys have been a little busy and a little focused on just building up certain things that you want to see to fruition later. Like it definitely feels like a building up your long-term plans, if you will. Even like legacy is part of that, and you've been seeing to that. You've been sticking to that. I feel like you've been very disciplined with that. Taurus is like right up here in the front, man. Okay, this is for a very small group. Some of you have been doing something in secret. Some of you have been doing something in secret, but it feels like a surprise. Like it feels like it's intentional, like to surprise someone. Like that's kind of how that feels, which I think is kind of cute. I don't know, maybe you've literally been like crafting something, or maybe you've been like saving money to buy like a birthday gift for somebody. It could even like literally just be, oh, maybe buy a ring for somebody. It could literally just be that. But it's been a secret. I just wanted to be mentioned. Like, okay, maybe it's getting close to the reveal for some of you. But yeah, I feel like there's like what I'm picking up on is really just like a steady, patient, consistent cultivating, investing, tending to things. Air signs had a little bit of that as well. If you have any air in your chart, what else is going on for my earth signs? I feel like there is definitely an engaging in pleasure. I can feel that. It doesn't feel excessive. It definitely feels like well balanced. It feels like it's in moderation, but I can feel this like little like beam of like joy, like bliss, like coming from the heart space. Like, ooh, that felt good. Like, you know what I mean? It kind of feels like that. But it's little at a time. Little at a time. Some of you are waiting for a green light. Hold on a second. Because even as I felt that, it's like, well, why aren't you engaging more in that? Because that feels really good, but it felt very minimal. Like only like allowing yourself little bits of pleasure, but you're allowing it. Almost like I can do more later when I can do more of this later when this happens or when I have enough of this. Like you're waiting for some sort of window that's coinciding with these like long-term plans and investments. It's really interesting. Again, you could be saving up money for something like a trip or a gift or an experience. Some of you, this is like saving for a house, right? Saving for like a bigger investment. But I feel like there's love in it. Like there's love tied to it. There's pleasure tied to it. And I do feel like it's not just for you. It involves another person or other people, like, or people you care about, like your family, for example. I almost want to say like a cultivation of love, a labor of love. Oh, that feels really nice. Yeah. Anything else coming through for my earth signs? Earth signs, you may also have some romance going on this week. I'm getting the number two. Well, two is about pairs, right? Um, but something about February could be important, or the actual Valentine's Day, right? Um, or even like 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. Something about the number two. You could be seeing 222 a lot. But yeah, if there's like romantic situations happening for you this week, it feels very gentle. It feels very gentle, feels very soft, it feels very genuine. There's almost like an innocence about it, which is really sweet. Which is really sweet. Yeah. Even if there is like a lot of passion, it's not about that. That's not the priority. Oh, I like this. I like this energy. This feels really good. It's not about that. It's not about the sexual energy. It's not about the passion. It's not about the heat. It's just about like the authentic expression of love. Oh, not to be all cheesy, but that feels good. I'm starting to feel a masculine energy now, like very, yeah, like King of Pentacles. Yeah, very like King of Pentacles, King of Wands could be coming up in your readings. For those who do readings, not a lot of you do your own readings. Um, I feel like that's coming from the King of Wands, King of Pentacles, which is an interesting combination. Like you don't normally see those two together. But King of Wands is typically like the passionate king, right? Very confident, very extroverted, likes to initiate things, likes to have a good time. King of Pentacles is more like, well, earthy, right? It's like King of Pentacles is the Taurus court card. Like he holds shit down, and that's kind of what I'm getting. Like that's what you've been doing. Um, King of Pentacles manages the 10, right? They look after people. And I'm feeling this like this tending to energy in the context of romance is coming from like a King of Pentacles, King of Wands. Like very genuinely wanting to show up for other people or someone out of love, care for someone out of love, offer support out of love. It feels protective, but not in an overbearing way, just a very gentle way. So this could be you, or this could actually be somebody that you know, or someone coming into your reality, okay? Because again, there's a lot of potential to meet a lot of people right now, even in a very divinely orchestrated ways. But whoever this is, they have good intentions and they have a gentle heart. And I want to say a gentle touch. But I also want to say there's something about them that's like stoic, I think is a better word for that. Like quiet. I'm gonna say quiet, not stoic. I'm gonna say quiet, which is interesting because King Wands, I would not equate that. It's almost like their fire is very like deep in there. It's very well managed. This is what I just heard. Their fire is very well managed. Again, this could be you. Um, yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, their fire is very well managed. Okay, whatever. Anything else going on for my earth signs for Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo? Oh, I just saw a baby. Okay, so you guys could be spending more time like actually being around family, like what, like babysitting. And babysitting, this is also that tending to. Yeah, earth signs, I feel like you're just tending to a lot of things that you have a lot of love for, whether that's literally your family and people or like goals or long-term investments that matter to you. That's like pretty much the gist. But I want to get back to this like baby energy. Um, It does. It just feels like there's caring for others in that, but it is like this very pure, very gentle way. Okay. Some of you guys could have just had a baby. Obviously, they could imply births or new beginnings of some kind, new experiences of some kind. But I feel like earth signs, you have actually a lot of peace and a lot of stability internally. And I feel like if anything, amongst all of the other energies we talked about with the other elements, I feel like you're holding shit down for other people the most compared to water and fire and air. You're holding the container and you are gently looking after others or looking out for others, including your own interests. But like it's very balanced. It's very, very balanced. It's very balanced. And I do, coming back to what I got before, where it almost seems like some of you have been waiting for windows of opportunities. But it's very much within your like plans and intentions. It's not like you're waiting for the universe to show you something. It's more like you know when the right time is based off of what you have been tending to, what you've been planning. And for some of you, those windows are now here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, your signs. I feel bad. I feel like fire sign got the short end of the stick with the readings today. But yeah, the bliss of balance. Hold on. Waiting for a green light. All right. All right. Yeah. Hold on. King of Wands is all I needed to hear. Yeah, like when I was feeling into it, I'm like, they're quiet, but like they're a King of Wands. And when they said that, like I felt it. It was like, oh yeah, like their fire is very like slow burn. Very slow burn. Like one little kindling, like kindling at a time as needed. Change is scary, but needed to meet the goals. Yes, absolutely. All right, guys. What a whirlwind today. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I'm going to hop off here and also tend to my other things. But I hope you enjoyed this. And like I said, for the full moon Aries, that is on Patreon already. If I can get it up on Vimeo, I'll get it up on Vimeo. But I may also put out a little paraphrased full moon Aries video out there. But honestly, everything you need to know about it, as far as like just the overview of what it means, is already in this video. So, but you know, I know some of y'all like to go deeper. But anyway, I'm gonna hop off. Thanks again, guys. Have a great week and a great night, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye. Take care.